Tina Turner, What's Love Got to Do With It? It's a classic 80s pop song often played in cover bands, at weddings and different functions. As the guitar player, it's incredibly fun to play this, but there's a problem. In this video, we're going to figure out that problem and I'm going to show you how you can work around it best. Hi, my name's Mark Hill. I'm a guitar player, musician, band leader, musical director, and I've been working professionally for over 10 years now. So I'm going to walk us through the song slowly through each section. There's going to be some notation below to follow. Let's listen to the intro and follow along below. So that was the introduction. It's quite straightforward. You can see here that we're playing these big whole notes, or sometimes called as diamonds. Basically strumming this G sharp minor 11 over 2 bars, and then changing to this F sharp add 2 over G sharp for the next 2, and then just repeating that for an entire 8-bar phrase. You'll notice on the guitar I'm actually using a capo. That's because the chord requires the notes to ring out. And to do that without the capo, it's quite a stretch. So I figured out quite quickly that the capo was the best thing for me. So that's our G sharp minor 11. And then if we move to an F sharp add 2, all we're doing is flattening this B natural to a B flat. Or A sharp in this case. Once we get into the verse, you'll notice there's a single note line, which is a repeating phrase that goes for 2 bars, and then the same phrase actually continues over the next chord. Let me play it for you.
You must understand, the touch of your hand makes my pulse react. That it's only the thrill of boy meeting girl, opposites attract. So this line's quite a simple phrase, quite fun to play, locks in the pocket, and when you listen to the track without it, it's essential. But there's another part of the track here that's essential, and this is where we lead into the little challenge or problem that I described. We have 2 guitar parts. Typically when you're playing this at a gig, you want to try and honour the song as best as possible, in any song of course. And I feel for this song it's very important to have both parts. So the first part is just what we played in the intro. We have that on one side, and on the other side we have... Because we're using the capo, let's combine them. It's not going to be perfect, it's quite hard to get them, it's impossible actually, to get the whole chord to ring while you play. But if we strum this on the first downbeat, basically we're skipping this first note here, and we're going to play this chord on top. You must understand, the touch of your hand makes my pulse react. That it's only the thrill of boy meeting girl, opposites attract. It's physical. So
you notice it's quite easy to do both. It might be a little clunky, it's not going to be straightforward, but I think it's a really good combination of getting both those parts in, because when you listen to the track without the big strum, it feels a little empty. So then when you listen to it without the single note line, it also doesn't have the same vibe. There's a little tip for you, I think that's quite important for this song. And then from there, we give up this single note line, we move into the pre-chorus.
It's physical, only logical. You must try to ignore that it means more than that.
It's quite simple here. We have an E add 2, which is, in this instance I'm using this voicing. We've got the F sharp on top, that's the 2, or 9. 9's a nicer way to say it. And then an F sharp. So we just need to know those 2 chords. But the important thing now to bear in mind is we have our capo. Using a chart like this, which is probably what you would get on a gig, your keyboard player, bass player, horn players, they're all going to be reading a chart with these chords, because this is our concert pitch key. Of course, with the capo, now we've shifted everything essentially down in our fretting hand. So this E add 2 in our fretting hand becomes a D add 2. So you need to think in two keys, which is a bit of a negative of a capo, or a positive though, if your brain can handle it. I think it's really good if you can push yourself to learn about that. And I'm going to talk a little more about capos in another video, so keep an eye out for that one. But now we need to really think about that. I recommend if you're using a sheet music notation app like Fourscore, which is what I'm using down here, you could, if you really wanted to, you know, right above D, add 2, and then E, probably neater handwriting. But if you were to write that in there, that would give you an indication of where you're going. But then you need to do that for all of the chords. Don't do it for some. Then it gets a little messy as well in the verse with the G sharp minor 11, because if you were to write F sharp, anyway, we open up a can of worms. Let's look at the chorus. Chorus is quite simple. We now move into a major tonality. We've been playing the whole song so far in G sharp minor. We're moving to the relative major in B. I tend to always think in major keys. This song for me is in B, but we start on the 6th chord, because when I think in minor keys, then the 6 becomes the 1 and everything gets messy. It's easier for me to think that way. We're playing this little reggae style rhythm. Basically the whole way through the chorus, apart from this little line here, which is really fun to play. It's basically, pardon the pun, the bass player's line. We'll play along with the track again. It's a fun little line to jump in on there. Don't drop it from there. You can see in this chart we have a little DS. So we're going to DS back to the A section, and we've just got another reverse, pre-chorus, chorus on the way out. Once we've done all that, we're going to go into the keyboard solo, which is section D of this chart. You'll notice now we're in a different key. We've moved up to D flat, which is indicated here by all these flats, the 5 flats. Basically the chorus. We're playing the chorus now up a whole tone. So instead of playing B6, we're playing D flat 6, then we're playing A flat, G flat 2. And then we move into the bridge. We have a very odd thing at the end again. We have a bar of 2/4 right before the chorus. So you really need to make sure you're on top of that. Don't get confused. This is going to come again later on. It's a really fun song. I think it's really interesting when pop songs do things like this. They give us odd bars, or not odd, but different length bars. It's not just the same over and over and over. We get these little lines, and we get a key change, all that sort of stuff. Now we're changing tonality again, going into the bridge.
But I have to say, I've been thinking about my own projection. It scares me to feel this way. Oh, what's love got to do?
And then we're way back to the chorus now in our new key. So quite a lot to unpack in this. Again, remember the 2/4 bar before. So leading in you go. So we're going straight into a new single note line. Let's clear all these markings. So this is section E. We start on a D flat 11. Now, if you listen to the track, there's again 2 guitars. One is doing big chords, probably like this. Just diamonds. I wouldn't play that here because the keyboard is pretty much playing this, so playing big notes or holding out there with their synthesizer sounds. Now on the track, I think it's a guitar, but it could be a synthesizer. It's really low in the mix, actually. I played this on a gig a few years ago, and whoever had written the chart had transcribed this part. I thought it was a really great idea, so that's what I play now. So over a D flat 11. So we're changing tonality. We're not changing key. You could argue we are, but we're not. This is a kind of common soul pop vibe. The tonic on the 11, which is essentially the tonic over the flat 7 chord, could also be written as B over D flat. Or B9 over D flat. It's easier for me to think 11, but they're the same thing. And then the bar after that, we return back to 1. So quite a common move. Thinking of Hall & Oates, She's Gone. That's the Luther Vandross chord, the 11. In the wrong key, but that's what that chord is. We have this single note line here, which is essentially a 2-bar phrase that then transposes over the different chords. That's our main phrase, and then we vary it in the second bar. So, second bar. And if you know your pentatonics, that's essentially a D flat major pentatonic, or maybe it's easier to think of it as B flat minor pentatonic, and you're just starting on in B flat minor. You're starting on the 3rd, which if you were major would be the root, and then you're moving down to. So you're going D flat, B flat, A flat. That's the only 3 notes in that first bar. Then it happens again in the second bar, but we change the rhythm a little. We have that, and then as you can see, it just repeats again over the next chord. So we have it. Sorry, no, it's the same chord again. We have D flat 11, D flat, and then we just return. We go D flat 11 again, then back to D flat. There's some little changes here. Let me make it a little near. Some little changes here where there's a G flat and a D flat, but we're not playing the chords. That's going to be your keyboard player, bass player doing that. Then we totally change the tonality, and it's a really, really sophisticated move. We basically shift to the key of E major. This is like going to a 4 chord in E. It's an A add 2, and then it becomes a B11, which again, let me just explain, is essentially the same chord, we're just removing the bass note. This time we're going to start on the root of the A, so it's the natural A. Then change key again. This time we're going to an A flat minor 7. But this time we're playing that A flat minor 7 pentatonic, which is again easy, starting on the root. It's the same melody, same rhythm. We're just changing the notes into that minor pentatonic on the A flat. So A flat, B natural, C sharp. This part isn't too vital. I think it adds a lot. It gives us almost a counter melody to the vocal, but it's not like an iconic line, so you don't need to be too precious about it. Then we move to our last chorus, and that last chorus is the same as the first time we done it, but we're just in D flat. So there's again a little thing to throw, as I mentioned it earlier, there's another 2/4 bar coming up. So we're playing with the same rhythm in D flat, but then at the end of the phrase, we have a sneaky little bar of 2. And you wouldn't even notice it again if you were dancing. It's so well written. They're having so much fun, we're grooving. We just need to be very aware of that, and your whole band has to be aware of it. You need to talk to your drummer, talk to your singer, talk to your bass player, keyboard player. Everyone needs to know what's happening, and it's really on the backing vocalist to nail the transition. If we listen to it, they are the ones who kind of lead us through. What's love got to do with it? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 1. So if your backing vocals don't come in with that, what's love, straight after, you might get a little lost. But that's it. And then the track keeps going. and we get to a fade. What I tend to do when I play this with a band is add an ending. It's really simple. You're going to keep vamping. I like to let it linger on that four chord, but if you really wanted to, give your drummer a brum brum and then resolve there. It's a really fun song to play. There's a lot to digest, but it's at the same time quite simple. I think the song won a Grammy for like Record of the Year that year. It's a really great arrangement. And I mentioned that tabs might not be the best way to go here, and that's because of the capo problem that I mentioned. And I feel with tabs, when you progress to a position where you're playing gigs like this, playing songs like this in a professional manner, tabs are not going to help you internalize the song. We spoke a lot about key changes, rhythm changes, time signature, key signature changes. There's a lot of things happening in this. And if you're thinking fret 4 or a 7th fret D string rather than root note 3rd, 15th, root note 3rd, 5th, and that way makes the song a lot easier. And then again with the capo thrown into it, where we're reading in G sharp minor but we're actually playing in F sharp minor, it can get messy quite quickly. So I really recommend pushing yourself to read notation like this, and then it will improve your music theory, your understanding, your playing all in the future. It's worth investing the time. I really love learning new songs and delving deep into recordings to understand what's going on, like we've done today with What's Love Got to Do With It, and coming up with a little bit of a composite guitar part from 2 different guitar parts in the original recording. I also love getting creative and coming up with guitar parts when there isn't a guitar part on the song. If you're also interested in that, click through to the next video.